Peace, family, peace, peace, peace. Okay, so as I was doing my hair, I was thinking about this. Okay, this just popped in my mind. Okay, make sure you vet them. Okay, if you don't want to wind up with someone that is dependent upon drugs. Okay, and it's so funny because a lot of times we find ourselves in situations because we rush, right? Because we feel like, you know, this is the best way. Maybe we've been programmed. I like to say we've been programmed, and we feel, especially this day and age, now everything is like, pretty much fast paced, okay? And at times we tend to not vet people, and vetting means just to like examine them critically, okay? Like really get to know somebody, and not just be so open with like, we dated for like 2 times or 2 weeks. We've been dating for 2 weeks, and now you officially my boyfriend. All right, I don't even know if because boyfriend seems so immature. But now it seems like you my man after 2 weeks, and the thing about life is that I always tell you guys, if you can't see my face, honey, I'm cleaning the stove. I always tell you guys that life is always reflecting back to us exactly how we are showing up, right? And so, if you finding yourself in relationships, because as I was doing my hair, I had a moment where as though I was like, I never knew this guy was like really addicted to weed. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh well, he smoke a little bit or whatever it is. I'm saying like he's really addicted. Now listen, if you smoke your 1s and 2s, honey, you do what works for you, okay? But I do believe that oftentimes we tend to look for things to cope with whatever it is that we have going on within ourselves. Hey, Oliver, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you. And so I didn't know that one of the guys that I dated was like heavily involved with smoking weed or whatever. And like as I started looking back, I was saying to myself, you could have found this out, okay? You could have found all this out if you would have vetted them, okay? If you would have vetted him, right? And listen, if you don't want to get what you've been getting, then you definitely have to do something that you're not used to doing, okay? And that is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of heartbreak, pain, okay? It's going to save you from those things, because now is not just, you just thinking about whatever it is, whether it's pleasure or whatever. You're not just thinking about those things. You just, you more so, and I never looked at relationships like that, like, oh, about pleasure. It to me, and I think that's why, like, at times the relationships that I was in, they didn't work because, on my part too, right? I needed to go through those relationships to see, how I was showing up, and I had to see that I had to start loving myself better, right? Also, what you have to understand too is I was going somewhere with this, honey. I totally forgot. Okay, totally forgot. What you have to understand too is whenever you change, okay, whenever you change your lifestyle or grow, right? Everything around you you're gonna see is going to grow, right? It is just part of the way, okay, it's going to grow. But nowadays, this is how I know. This is where I was going with the whole relationship thing. So I never was a person that just was like about pleasure, right? It's about growth to me. And I never understood, like after a while, me and a guy be in a relationship, and it's like I want out, right? It's like a part of you want out, but then is another part of you that probably is like, well, I don't know, if I'm gonna get better or whatever it is like that, right? Scarcity, lack thinking mindset. And so it was parts of me that would be in a relationship, right? Like physically in a relationship, but mentally out. Like mentally, I'm done with the relationship. And emotionally too. And at times I just didn't understand it. Cause I would be like, we've been in a relationship and, like the connection just wasn't there no more. And so when I say, make sure you vet in a people, when I look at the person that I have become now, I take everything into consideration, far as health wise, far as mindset wise. I take all those things into consideration because those things are truly a reflection of how you are going to show up in that relationship, how you are going to show up in this relationship. And so I take all those things into consideration, right? And be picky, okay? Don't ever settle and feel like, well, I just have to settle because I'm not going to get anybody better or whatever it is. I can guarantee you, if you do the work on yourself, okay, you do the work on yourself, you reflect back and see what was what was your part in those relationships. I guarantee you, okay, if you do the work on your part, because that's what you can do the work on, you will start attracting different, okay? But you gotta face yourself, okay? You definitely have to face yourself. And is it easy facing yourself? Right? It's challenging. Anything what comes with growth. Let me tell you right here, right now. Okay, anything that comes with growth, okay, just know that it's going to be challenging. That's just the way it is. Okay, now if you want to stay stagnated, if you want to stay the same and stuff and do the same, then this video isn't for you. But anything that comes with growth is going to be challenging. All right? And you have what it takes to get over that challenge, right? To accept the challenge, to do the work and understand that you are more than capable of getting past that. All right? And so I wanted to come on here because I was in a room and I was doing my hair, okay, and I was just thinking like, damn, You know, I didn't even realize that this dude that I was dating, like, really had an addiction, right? And even another guy that I dated, he had an addiction, and me and him, it's so crazy. Like, how you could think you know somebody, and the person is living like a completely, totally different life. Like, you looking at this person in one limelight way, like you looking at this person like, oh, this person has so much potential, this person is great, and then people that really know the person sees them in a complete different limelight. And you know what's crazy? I remember I dated certain guys, right? Well, there's one particular guy. And I remember this guy who was talking to me. And this was like after me and a guy, we would be on and off or whatever. And so this new guy, right? He was talking to me, and I remember one day he had seen me pregnant because the new guy wanted sex, okay, and honey, I wasn't giving out, okay, and so me and him stopped talking real quick, and I remember one day he seen me. And he was like, oh my goodness. Like, he seen me on the bus. He was like, oh my goodness, you pregnant? Like, I would have never thought that. Right? And he even said he would have not thought that I would have been with the guy that I was dating. And you know, sometimes when people say, like, damn, I never thought you would be with her, right? Or I never thought you would be with him, right? And you like, you know, you kind of wonder, like, what the hell? Like, why they say they never do it? And it's because the person that's on the outside of the relationship, they looking at it like you deserve so much more. But you may not see it because you may have settled for whatever reason that you may have settled for. Okay? And it's just like, it really baffles me because, well, really not confuses me, but it really does something to me to know that, damn, like, I'm really really proud of myself. You know, I gotta give myself a pat on the back. Okay, I must do so. Okay, because if you look over your life and you see the growth, I mean, that is the most important thing, the growth. And you say, damn, I remember when I would just settle. Okay, I remember that. Nowadays, I know it's powerful. Okay? Nowadays, I know my worth. Nowadays, I don't have to operate from a scarcity lack mindset. That abundance is, in fact, my birthright. Right? And it just, it feels so good. So, listen, I hope you guys out here vetting. Okay. All right. Now, I know right now is fast paced. Okay. Especially with, social media, everything is moving rapidly. Okay. And, you know, you could date somebody today and be married to them tomorrow. Okay. But make sure you vetting them, because that's the only true way to really get to know someone is you going through every season with them. You know what it's like when they're upset. You know what it's like when they, you know, have it. You know what it's like when they don't have it. You know what it's like when a business is booming. You know what it's like when a business isn't, right? You know, so it's very, very important to see, you know, exactly how people are in every season. And another thing is this, okay? If you do not think you are worthy of whatever it is that you want to manifest. If you don't think that you're worthy, you're not going to do the work. You just not. You just not. You're not going to do it. And the reason you're not going to do it is because, like I said in my previous videos, you done talk yourself out of it before you got started. Saying stuff like, why you? Saying things like, what makes you think you deserve it? You done talked yourself out of it. So if you feel as though, like, you don't deserve love, or you don't deserve to be in a healthy relationship, okay, with effective communication, okay, and boundaries, all those healthy things, okay, values and things like that, and respect, okay. If you feel like you don't deserve it, you're not going to do the work. Listen closely. If you feel like you don't deserve that relationship, if you deep down feel as though you don't deserve it, you're not going to do the work. You're not going to do the work on yourself. It's not about changing or fixing anyone. It's about you evolving your damn self. And if you see, all those things coming up, when people tell me, well, Dina, is them, or Dina, what about the guys, or no, boo, it's you. Is you. Because every time we can pinpoint and say, is this person do this, oftentimes they just reflecting back to us how we are showing up. They just reflecting back to us our shadow side. When we say we don't like this, or I don't like that, I don't like that, they just reflecting back to us our shadow side. They reflecting back to us how we are living. Okay? All right? So, again, make sure you vetting. Make sure you vetting before, I told you guys, nowadays, I don't have time to waste. And, I don't want to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm definitely not going to waste mine. Okay? So I make it very clear, right? When I told you guys probably a week ago, right? This guy I met, and nowadays I get straight to it. Just cut you off. Tell you not to listen. Delete the number, okay? Because by the time I say delete the number, your number is already out of my phone, okay? It's already, and then you going on block. Because, sometimes when you say delete the numbers, sometimes people don't understand what that necessarily means, okay? And it's nothing personal, but nowadays I just get rid of them quick, very quick. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm saying that to say I don't have time to waste, okay? And so the one guy, it was a few red flags, okay? A few red flags, and we ain't even go on a date, okay? But it was a few. So first thing that happened was this. So the guy asked me for my number, right? Gave him my number. And me and him talked over the phone one day, okay? And during that one day, first of all, this was the one red flag. I'm gonna show you guys the red flags as I tell the story. The first red flag was I was walking and he seen me, and he did a sort of a U-turn, right? And he was, asking me like, he was talking and asked me for my number and stuff like that. And then he was asking me like, where was I going, right?
That wasn't the red. What was the red flag was when he asked me if I wanted a ride. Now, some of you guys may be like, well, he was generous, or he that was kind of him asking you, did you want to ride? I don't know this. I didn't know this guy from a milk carton. Okay, and to me that just was like, to me, a red flag. Like, you offer me a ride, like I don't even know you. Okay. Now some may say, well, you get an Uber or Lyft, you don't know the people and stuff like that. But that's something completely different. Okay. That, to me, that's different. So that was one red flag. Then after that, me and him spoke over the phone, and I was busy with my grandbaby and my daughter at the time. And so he was talking and stuff like that. So he was saying, did I want to go on? No, he said we could grab some coffee or whatever. And whenever you are getting to know someone, right, it's best that, now this is some of the things that I learned along the way, okay, from different dating coaches, okay, that is best that you go somewhere in the morning and drink coffee, okay, because the warmness of the coffee or something hot, right, is going to be memorable, okay. And so the guy said, all right, we could go out for some coffee, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, and coffee is morning, okay? And so I said, all right. But then I started thinking, I said, no, it's too soon, because I didn't even want to get in his car and let me vet him. Let me get to know him, And so but what he said to me, it kind of, first he was like, all right, let's go for some coffee. And I'm thinking it's in the morning, right? And then he says to me, he says, all right, like 6 o'clock. I said, 6 o'clock? I said, 6 o'clock? There's evening, okay? Now, some may say, Dina, you're looking too much into it, okay? But certain shit I pay attention to, all right? Maybe it's the Virgo in me. I don't know. But then I said 6 o'clock. I said that's not morning. That's evening. And so he was like, all right, well, we could do Saturday. I was like, yeah, nah, Saturday is not go. So then he said Sunday. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do it after church or whatever. Now, this is the thing, and this is why it's important to vet people. I don't go to church, okay? And I'm spiritual. And some people, I don't know, for some reason, they confuse spirituality with atheists. I don't know how the fuck that come about, okay? But I don't do church, okay? And if you do church, you do what works for you, okay? I don't believe that you have to go to church in order to connect with God, source, whatever you want to name it, okay? I don't believe that. I believe that source, God, is in everything, in each and every one of us, okay? And so, I knew, so it would be probably some areas in that aspect, he go to church and stuff like that. I figured, maybe he was lying, I don't know. But then what really did it for me, because he was like, I can't go in the morning Sunday. I got to take my mother shopping. Now, maybe he really do have to take his mother shopping. I don't know. Okay, maybe he really do. But the red flags just went off immediately. Okay? And what I told him was, I sent him a message, and I said, you could delete my number. You just not it. And what he said was, no, I said you could delete my number. And he said, his response was, could you give me the reason why, something like that? And I just, very, very blunt. I just said, you just not it. And so he went on, I put him on block, because that's what I do. When I send that message saying you're not it, I'm not gonna waste your time. Okay? And I don't want people to have this this expectation or this thing where as though they like, well, it's gonna go somewhere and it's really not. So I don't want to waste the time. And so what wound up happening was, now I went through my block list, okay? And it was somebody that was on my block list, and I needed to take them. I needed to take them off, and it was my son. Okay, I put him on block. I said, "You put me on block, I put you on block." Okay, and so I needed to take my son off block, and I see the guy, and he wrote this message like, "You know what? Like." You want somebody, I guess, oh, and this what was it too. This what did it for me too, because I was like confused too. This what did it for me too. He said to me, because I said, you know what, I don't think that we should go on a date yet, right? It's too soon. And he was like, oh, this wasn't a date. And I was like, you asked if you could take me if we could go out for coffee. So I don't know. I have been out the game for a minute, but I thought that was a date. Now maybe that wasn't a date. But let me know if that sounded like a date to you in the comments, because I thought that was a date. But the brother said, oh, this wasn't a date. So I said, what the fuck was it? That's what I'm saying in my mind. What was this thing? Okay, that wasn't a date. Okay. So I was totally thrown off by that. Totally thrown off. Okay. Honey, I was thrown off when he said it wasn't a date. So I said, what the fuck was it? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Okay? So what was it? If it wasn't a date? I don't know. Maybe they changed the lingo. Okay? Maybe what I thought, that's not it. I don't know. But I said, what the hell was it then? If it wasn't a fucking date. But anywho, moving forward, that was another reason. Because I said, our language is completely different. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just not for me, brother. And so that happened. And he sent me a message. Now, after what I expect, once I say, just delete the number, just that's it. What I expect is in return, cool. That would do. Or maybe no response at all. That will also do. But then he sent me a message like, I guess, in other words, he was saying like, oh, you want somebody to chase you. Like I see like you want somebody to chase you. And that never was my intention. My intention was, I don't want to waste your time because I'm damn sure not wasting mine. That was my intention. So the reason why I say that is to say this. Some of you guys, you say the red flags don't show. But if you patient enough, they show. Okay? If you're not so eager to jump into a relationship, and relationships are great. They are great. Based upon standards, values, boundaries, all those things, respect, they're great. Okay, communication is top tier for me. But If you say the relationships, I just don't see the red flags. I guarantee you they there. They there. But oftentimes you don't see the red flags is because you are so in a rush. Just to say you have somebody in your bed, or just to say you have somebody to call you your own, or whatever it is, I don't know. But make sure you vetting. Make sure you are vetting people, okay? Because you don't want your next relationship to be like your previous one, okay? Every time we tend to do something, it's supposed to get better and better and better and better. None of us are perfect, okay? But if you pause to see, like, you know what? I learned from that. Because everything that we tend to go, and I don't care what it is. It could be a job, it could be finances, it could be relationships, it could be anything. Every time something ends or something tends to happen, we should be learning something from it. It's not a such thing as, this just happened. It just happened. Okay? And you're not a victim. You're not a victim. Okay? You're not a victim. Let me say it again. You're not a victim. I just feel like you're not a victim. Because I just feel like somebody need to hear this. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. Okay? You're not a victim. So show up like you know you worthy. Show up like you know you deserve it. Show up like you know who the hell you be. Okay? Still getting to know who you are. But show up like you know who you be in this here season. You know who you be. Okay? And you don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle because you feel whatever it is you may feel. Start doing the inner work. Because I guarantee you, start doing the inner work. Your next boo is gonna be it's gonna be like a whole night and day compared to your previous relationship. Totally night and day. Totally. And that's what's reflecting back to you like, oh, I see I did the work, okay? Because look who I got now, okay? I see I did that work, okay? Because look who I'm with now, okay? It's supposed to be a reflection of you. And with that being said, I love you guys. Peace.